October Challenge. Try to watch at least 10 movies from this list. These are films that were overlooked, ignored at the box office, or simply not screened much in some regions. This isn't a best of list, it's an attempt to dig up titles you may not know. Here we go. Stakeland. A recent take on vampires that returns them to where they belong. Vicious, animal creatures with no trace of humanity. The post-apocalyptic setting recalls The Walking Dead. If you want vampires treated seriously and without glamour, this one delivers. Dog Soldiers. One of the best werewolf movies in recent years. Werewolves have been a bit forgotten since the 90s, overshadowed by zombies and vampires, but Dog Soldiers reminds you how well the creatures can work when handled with care. Tense, bloody, and often very funny. Shudder. Thailand's major contribution to the Asian horror wave. Ignore the awful American remake and watch the original. One of the best ghost movies of the last years, full of unforgettable, chilling scenes. Waxwork. Set in a wax museum of terror, a group of young people step inside to discover that each figure's curse becomes real. 80s B-movie horror with a good dose of humor. One of those cult titles that shows why that decade was so fertile for low-budget scares. Pumpkinhead. A classic late 80s creature feature about vengeance and a demon summoned to avenge the death of a son. The original has become more popular in recent years thanks to DVD and Blu-ray, and despite mediocre sequels, the first film is essential for fans of practical creature effects and folk horror. VHS and VHS 2. The idea of a frame story revealing other nightmares through found videotapes is simple and exciting. The first VHS is one of the best anthology choices for a witching night or movie marathon. VHS 2 manages to keep the quality strong, and the series almost became a proper ongoing horror saga. The Last House on the Left, remake. One of the few remakes that, at least for some, surpass the original. Brutal, raw, and violent, it feels like an homage to the spirit of the older grindhouse and exploitation horrors. Not for the faint of heart. 28 Days Later, 28 Weeks Later. The first film helped revive the modern zombie genre. The sequel didn't get the same love, but just watch the opening of 28 Weeks Later and you'll know this isn't ordinary fare. Both films are brutal, fast, and relentlessly tense. The Mothman Prophecies, a personal favorite. This retelling of the Mothman urban legend is based on real events and builds a creeping, uncanny dread. Great performances and direction, worth watching, and one of those films that lingers after the credits. Braindead, aka Dead Alive. Long before Peter Jackson became a director of epic fantasy, he made this New Zealand gore jewel. One of the most ridiculously bloody scenes in the history of cinema lives here. If you can stomach excessive, inventive gore, Braindead is a must. The Bay, a modern creature feature that follows more the Jaws model than the horror films of the 80s. The threat emerges, the town panics, and the human conflicts inside the community matter as much as the creature itself. Good tension, good atmosphere, and an ecological bite. The Midnight Meat Train, based on a Clive Barker short story. This movie seems like just another urban thriller until its last, savage minutes. That ending alone makes it worth the watch. The Cabin in the Woods. 5 young people go to a cabin in the woods and find something terrifying. That premise sounds familiar, but the film completely deconstructs the genre and turns it into something original and surprising. Love it or hate it, it's one of the smartest horror films of recent years. Night of the Demons, the quintessential Halloween movie. My personal favorite from the 80s. A group of high school kids celebrate at an abandoned funeral parlor where a crazed family once slaughtered each other. Pure B-movie horror in its best form, cheesy, fun, and devilishly entertaining. Those are the 15 recommendations. Try to watch at least 10 this October, and if you've already seen many of them, rewatch a favorite and see what new details you pick up. If you want to suggest more lesser-known horror films, share them. The most popular suggestions are worth checking out and adding to the list.